I've got a feeling that we are about to witness a lot of innocent Zerglings die, because what I got for you today is a Gold League match of Zerg versus Zerg. Spawning in the top left corner of Abyssal Reef LE and playing with the red Zerg drones, we have none other than Mantiro and his opponent in the opposite corner, playing also with the drones, but these are in blue. He goes by the nickname of Feldprox. So here's the thing, right? Whenever I cast a Gold League match of Zerg vs Zerg, or generally speaking some of the lower leagues on the StarCraft 2 ladder, I usually witness a handful of Zerglings just simply running on ahead into their opponent's baneling. I've casted so many Zerg vs Zergs at this point, where the opposing players are just simply putting up a couple of banelings around the map, and all of their opponents are going to be running in their Zerglings. Regardless though, Feldprox is gonna go ahead. I was gonna say, he's gonna go ahead and build that hatchery first, but not until we did a little bit of damage right there to the unbuildable rocks. I've actually seen a couple of people ask questions about these unbuildable rocks. In particular, if you're new to the YouTube channel, or maybe you joined StarCraft with free-to-play, or maybe you just simply don't really know why these rocks are here. The reason why they are at the bottom of ramps at every single map in StarCraft 2 nowadays is because back during the earlier parts of Wings of Liberty, they were not. What it allowed players to do is, for example, build a cannon right here and then put two photon cannons, or rather a pylon right there, and then put two photon cannons at the bottom of the ramp. Some Terran players would even go ahead and build two bunkers at the bottom of the ramp. Some Terran players, and I kid you not, some Terran players would even go ahead and build two barracks on their opponent's side of the ramp, and then just simply rally units into the main base of the Zerg. It was a little bit ridiculous. So after a little bit of time, all of the map makers at Blizzard, as well as the ones in the community, put their minds together and apparently decided that the way to fix that was indeed by adding unbuildable rocks at the bottom of ramps. This all of a sudden allowed Zerg players to go ahead and build a hatchery on the low ground first. This allowed Terran players to go for that command center on the low ground, and Protoss also to go for a much faster expansion. And all in all, even though it doesn't look like a very menacing set of rocks at all, it is actually an absolutely crucial aspect of the game, because if a map would come out and they would not have that, I think we would be in for a world of hurt. So far though, both players opening up pretty standardly. While we do see Feldprox going for a much quicker expansion, there is one down as well for the player in red, who opted to go for a faster spawning pool here instead. He's already got that second gas in the main, actually. That is going to be something we have to keep in mind. I don't know if he plans on mining from it just yet. So far, he hasn't saturated it. But at the same time, he is running some Zerglings here towards the right-hand side of the map, and this is completely unscouted so far by the player in blue. Speaking of scouting, though, he's going to be running this Overlord straight, or I guess flying this Overlord straight into his opponent's main. That one will most definitely go down. And at the same time, Feldprox is now also inside of the main of his opponent, and you will figure out that there is no baneling nest taken whatsoever just yet, but there is a second gas geyser. I'm kind of curious to see, though, what these Zerglings will be able to do. I mean, how many Zerglings is that? That's about 6 Zerglings right now. They're gonna go up against 2 Queens. Technically speaking, Queen should be able to take that out, but not if one is gonna be chilling at the hatchery. Here we go. One of them will end up dying very, very rapidly. You have to make sure you hug them together to reduce that service area. A second Queen now in a lot of trouble, while the third one will be joining in just a little bit. Ooh, actually a little bit of missed target firing there. He's gonna be able to hit it a couple more times, and apparently even that one will start floating towards the surface of the Abyssal Reef as well. That's a Talon right there. Did you see that? Anyway, Zergling speed is just about to finish up right here for our player in blue. I'm curious to see what this game is gonna look like. I mean, Motless named this replay, and he's one of the people that checks all of the viewer submitted games. He named this replay not quite your orthodox Zerg vs Zerg. Something along those lines. So I'm not entirely sure what to expect. So far, it looks pretty standard. Roadhorn coming down here for Mantiro. He did decide to skip out the Zergling speed. A little bit greedy there. If you look at his map vision right now as well, he knows absolutely nothing other than the fact that the third base is not going to be taken over here. One of the main things in Zerg vs Zerg, and this is actually one of the biggest tips that I can give you if you are playing Zerg vs Zerg yourself as well, is that you need to put the first couple of Overlords on the attack path. So what I mean with that is that, say for example you are the Zerg player in red, you want to make sure that you are familiar with all of the attack paths. For example, right now, if units were running across the map, he would not know until they literally go by this Overlord right over here, right? Instead, you want to have an Overlord over there. You want to have one over there. You want to have one maybe over here in the center. Just so you can scout all of the locations where your opponent is going to be running from, so you have a little bit of time to respond. I mean, Zerglings can be built very, very rapidly. Speaking of which, though, I do like that little Zergling scout there by the player in red. He's now also going to be sending in an Overlord in the main base to roughly figure out what is going on. He scouts that there's a lair already, but not really a whole lot other than that. Feldprox is now also going to be going for an Overlord cocoon. Apparently he plans on dropping some units, although the majority of his army is going to be Zerglings. I guess he may be loading in the Banelings or the Queens. Okay, Mr. Feldprox, wait. Did you just put in 4 drones and 2 Queens into a single Overlord? I am not entirely sure what he is planning on doing here. This could become really silly really fast. I mean, he's going to be flooding minerals for days. There we go. He's going to finally be able to start making some of those Zerglings once again. But he is bringing an Overlord across the map. There it is. With Queens as well as drones in there. We'll have to keep an eye out on exactly what's going on. Because look at Mantiro's force already. He's going to be going for double Evo. He's already got a handful of roaches out. There's 2 spines at the front. Unless maybe the maybe the Zerg player is actually going to be dropping inside of the main. Speaking of which, though, the Overlord is currently headed towards the natural. It will be able to get a glimpse of the fact that roaches were about to move out there. Feldprox, however, will get scouted. He's now showing this Overlord. No, don't lose it. Don't lose it. I want to see you do something cute. Don't lose your... Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, dude. Stop it. Drop the Queen. Transfuse the Overlord. Wow, okay, the Queens actually gave up the chase. Very interesting. He is... I love it. He is gonna end up transfusing that Overlord to try and keep it alive for a little while longer. What exactly is his plan, though? I mean, his opponent doesn't know that there are Queens in that thing. He definitely couldn't see that. Is he gonna drop it inside of the main? And then, like, poop some creep with the Overlord and then, like, put down buildings? Would that be a thing? That is... It's just gonna get scouted, though, right away. This is just gonna get scouted right away, and there we do indeed see the creep coming down. Even a tumor now inside of the main base. Spine crawlers are coming in, but at the same time, roaches are now also moving across the map. Mantiro is about to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Look at this. This is gonna get really weird really fast. There's a lot of Zerglings here available. They're gonna be able to move towards that natural expansion very rapidly as well. But while this is going on as well, the roaches now finally arrived on the other side of the map. They're gonna be able to start dealing some damage as well. Going after these rocks, which is a priority 0. Let these rocks, like, come on, man. Why would you kill those rocks, like, 4 times over? Spine crawlers, though, inside of the main base are not going to be able to finish, but Zerglings did just absolutely massacre the natural mineral line. At the same time, they're also going to be going after the Queens inside of the main base, but the natural on the other side of the map is already fallen. That does mean that we have a bit of an interesting base trade kind of scenario. Feldprox did go for the 3rd hatchery, and he also managed to kill his opponent's natural just now. He's gonna go after the drones, making sure that they cannot escape. That does mean that there is currently no more mining here for the player in red. But speaking of which, he's now also pushing up the ramp with a handful of roaches. These roaches are actually looking pretty healthy. They're gonna be able to micro against these Zerglings very, very nicely. And if they put each other, yeah, there we go. If they put them in between, like, the buildings and all of these mineral patches as well, that's gonna significantly reduce the service area. This is actually gonna get a little bit odd. Feldprox still has another mining base, while he is losing the main as well, and the Zerglings are just desperately trying to join up with the others. He still has a big amount of Zerglings inside of his opponent's main as well. Does decide to fight the Broodlings, a little bit of a cheeky move. It does actually cost you a little bit of time. Drones are now actually being built here for Mantiro, and I think that neither player is completely aware of how they should be approaching this situation right now. Mantiro, however, just managed to kill his opponent's spawning pool. That means that while he's behind in the supply count, there's really not going to be any kind of production here for his opponent anymore. Here's the thing, there's no way that he can actually properly defend against all of these Zerglings, because they're going to kill buildings much faster than he can kill his. Mantiro did indeed find the 3rd hatchery right now. He's going to go after the drones first, make sure that there's not going to be any more cheeky mining here, although there's a handful of links as well inside of the top right corner, or I guess in the top right corner of this map. Mantiro, however, is now revealed. So at this point, Feldprox knows that while he went for a cheeky little Queen drop, and he still got that tumor as well, that these are going to be the final buildings for the player in... Oh my... This is actually gonna get really silly. These are gonna be the final buildings right here for the player in red. Although he did just make a couple of drones that do get scouted right away. Feldprox is gonna send all of the Zerglings to try and clean up just a handful of drones. This is gonna make it so much more difficult, because at the same time, the 3rd was killed as well on the other side of the map. Drones are now desperately trying to move out. They do get spotted, however. There are still a lot of drones here, however, still in the top right-hand corner of the map. But Mantiro, I think you're running against the clock, my man. You are only Really? You've got only 2 buildings left. You've only got 2 buildings left. He does now give the GG. Feldprox doesn't quite realize yet that these are the final buildings that he has to worry about. Instead, he was busy microing all of the drones. And that does mean that apparently he's gonna give the question mark. But Feldprox obtains the victory as he managed to kill every single last of his opponent's structures. Very cheeky move there. On paper, Mantero was pretty far ahead, but apparently the queen distraction with the drop in the main base and then the spine crawlers as well just simply opened up the front door for all of Mantero's units to go into the main while his roach army was moving across the map. That all of a sudden opened up the opportunity for the player in blue to just absolutely shred that natural, and with that eventually the main too. And apparently Feldprox, in a very well-fought fight, is going to be able to obtain a victory. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, actually no Zerglings really died to Banelings in this particular match. That's the first. I've seen so many innocent Zerglings just die. I guess the ones that did go down in this particular match weren't nearly as innocent. I hope, though, that you enjoyed watching this match. If you got a crazy game yourself as well, go ahead and submit it to replays@LowkoTV. Just simply attach the .sc2 replay file to the email. For now, though, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, right? A special shout out to the Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. But I will see you all in the next one.